Right now we are working on our gemstone paintings. These are turning out really awesome. I'm really excited to see what these look like when they're all done. Last time we drew our gemstones and our crystals. Today we're going to start painting. There is a lot of color mixing that you'll have to do on your own, so some of these steps are really important, but it's going to be a lot of fun, and a lot of students tell me that this is a very easy project.
What is a gemstone? Gemstones have many different names. Sometimes people call them just gems. Sometimes people call them jewels. Sometimes people call them precious stones, but whatever you call them, gemstones are pretty cool. Gemstones are found underground. Some are extremely beautiful and rare, while others you can even find in your own backyard. When gemstones are cut, sometimes they're cut into a popular design, such as these. I'm going to show you some tricks in this lesson that will help you make your paintings and drawings in the future more realistic. We're going to be using tint, shades, and hues. So here's a helpful trick to remember your tints, hues, and shades. So on my color wheel, I have all these colors. Now in the middle is the lighter version of that color. That's called the tint. And then right beside it is the actual color. And hue, that word is just a fancy word for the word color. So anytime you see me or hear someone say hue, that just means color. And then at the very end, it looks almost like it's black, but it's actually that hue mixed with black. So you can kind of see there that it's a dark green. So remember tints, hues, and shades. Hopefully we picked up a paintbrush, a paper towel, and a placemat. If you haven't already, go ahead and open your placemat and put your gemstone painting inside. Now I know the whole thing won't fit, but the point of a placemat is if you need to paint something on the side, it helps the table not get all wrecked up. So we're just gonna keep the placemat underneath it just in case. So here are the paints we're gonna use, but I want you to notice that instead of just saying red or orange or yellow, I want you to use the actual term for that color gemstone. So red is gonna be ruby, citrine, that'll be the orange, yellow is gonna be heliodor, and then we have emerald for green. This kind of bluish green is called aquamarine. Blue is gonna be sapphire, purple is gonna be amethyst. This is a new one, this one's called alexandrite, that's gonna be your magenta. Today I will call groups up to get their paint, and we're all going to get our paint the same way. When I call your table, you'll follow the green arrows. You're gonna see one of these paint trays. You just need one for yourself, and then you're gonna follow the green arrows and head down the buffet line, and then you get to choose what color or what kind of crystal gemstone you wanna use first. In my first try at this, I used emerald, I have amethyst, and then I have sapphire. So I'm gonna try out some different colors today. Once you get your tray, you'll move down the green arrows, and this is where you get to choose your crystal. So just start with one for now. You can always switch to another one when you get there. I'm going to start with the aquamarine. I haven't tried that one out. I'm excited to see what it looks like. Now it's hard for me to hold the camera in one hand and show you, but I'll try my best. When you need a color, give it a little shake upside down with the lid closed, not open. That'll be a big mess. And then while it's on its side, go ahead and open it. You're going to barely touch it out. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Just a little bit. That's really all you need. And then of course you need to close the lid and put it back in. The next thing you're gonna need is the shade and then also the tint. So this is the white paint, this is the black paint. You're gonna need a little dollop of each. So remember, when you need it, make sure it's closed. Give it a little shake upside down. Open it up on the side, and it's, like I said, it's hard to do with the camera in one hand, but then I will just gently squeeze just a little bit. That was too much. Don't be like me. Just squeeze it a little bit. Don't be crazy, because I had to pay for this paint, a lot of it myself, so don't make me be all mad at you. I'm going to squeeze just a little bit of the black, and that is all I need. When you get this, you only want a touch of black, because we're going to use it to make our shades. If you use too much, your color will just turn to black, and there's going to be no point to mixing. Once you have your paint tray, and you could share this with a partner, you will also need a water cup right next door. Now you could take turns getting your paint in your water cup, that way you do not have to spill it.
Once you get to your table, you could share the paint tray if you and your partner at your table are using the same color, or you could have different colors. You're still responsible for cleaning it out. I would suggest sharing a water cup just because it'll make cleanup a lot easier today. Now, when we have the color just by itself, what do we call the fancy word for it? I hope you said hue. What happens if we mix the hue with black? I hope you said shade. What happens if I mix the hue with white? I hope you said tint. When you are doing this, you do not want to mix them right away. We'll mix them later, but you want to use what you have now. I think I'm going to put the aquamarine for a couple. I really like the aquamarine. I think I'm gonna do this kind of gemstone up here, and then also these crystals down here with the aquamarine. So I'm going to first start with just my hue. I'm gonna use just the color and paint different areas that color. When you do this, don't worry about where you put it. I want you to mix it up. I'll put a hue here, hue here, hue here. Don't cover the whole thing with hue, but do different little spots. I'm gonna go ahead and do a fast mode version of what I'm talking about. So the only thing I want you to notice is that when I did just the color, the hue, I did not put it everywhere. I just kind of made up different little shapes I could put it in, because in the other spots is where we're going to put our shades and our tints. So now that I have both of these rocks the way that I want them as far as the hues, I can go ahead and mix the next color. Remember, do your hues first. The next one I want you to do is the tints. We're gonna make this super easy for you. You're just gonna take your brush. I cleaned mine. I'm going to take just a scoop of the hue. In this case, it's the ultramarine or the aquamarine, and I'm going to mix it around with the white. I'm going to mix until it is one color. So if you look real closely, it still looks a little marbled. It hasn't mixed together. I'm gonna keep mixing until it is one solid color. All right, that looks good enough. I'm gonna take the excess off, and now I can do the tints. What I want you to notice here is that it's the same thing for the hues. Just make it up. You don't want to fill up the whole thing because we still need to do our shades, but I went ahead and did my tints and then left some areas for the final shades. So now it's time to mix the hue with the black. It's really important that you clean your brush, especially after doing the tints, otherwise it will just turn to gray. I'm going to clean my brush by swirling it in the water, let it drip, and then of course dry off, because you can still, as you can see, might accidentally still have some paint in the bristles. I'll do it one more time just to be sure. Okay, so I think I'm pretty good. Now, what you're gonna do is just take a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of that black, that's why you didn't need a whole lot, guys, and mix it in to your hue, so just the color. Now, this will turn dark very fast, so that's why you only wanna use just a touch of the black. Otherwise, I promise you, it'll just turn to black. You'll have no idea what color it started out as. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and paint the rest of those areas. Now, obviously, I wanna do more than just these colors. I don't have time to do any more. If you do find that you want to move on to your next color, I would first search around the room and see if anyone else has those colors. That way you can maybe get some from them and not be so wasteful to the paint. Right now I am done with these two and I'm ready to clean my palette so I can get another color.
So at the end of class, or when you need to switch colors, it's important that you clean your palette before you get your next set of tints, shades, and hue. So I just turn the water on slightly at the sink, just very soft water, you don't want anything too hard, and then take one of the big paintbrushes back there, get it wet, and then just gently put your paint tray over the water, and then what you're going to do is use the paintbrush to paint the paint away. You're using the water and the paintbrush to paint the paint away, and it works pretty fast. I've noticed it's the best way to do this without using up all your time. At the end of class, I will call 2 people who will be in charge of cleaning everyone's palettes. A lot of people tell me that's a fun job for some reason. I'm down with it as long as everything's clean by the end of class. So at the end of class, I'll call 2 people to do this job. So do this at the end of class, or if you need to switch colors.
Once you have a clean palette, you can choose your next hue, tint, and shade. So I hope you have a great day. I know that was a lot of directions. Thank you for being so patient, 4th grade, and I'm excited to see what these look like when they're all finished. See you next time.